Welcome to Choose You Conversations, where we focus on self-care so you can do a better job of doing what God put you on this earth to do. I'm Dr. Rachel Mitchell-Milahi, psychologist, executive coach, and author of the book, Choose You. Welcome to Choose You Conversations. I'm excited about what we're talking about today. I'm not even going to tell you right now. I'm going to read it because it's so much goodness in here. Welcome, Melissa, to Choose You Conversations.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm going to tell y'all who she is because she has saved my life over the last few years. Some of the pictures that you've seen of me, she's made me extra beautiful, baby. She has put the cherry on the top of this sundae. Okay. Melissa Davis is a renowned fashion stylist, expert, and educator with nearly a decade of experience at a high-end fashion company. And as the founder of Best You Ever by Melissa Davis, she runs a successful fashion consulting business dedicated to helping women discover their unique style and boost their confidence. It's part style revolution and part confidence makeover. With a background in image consulting, Melissa has worked with women on television, women across the United States, and women with international platforms, empowering them to embrace their individuality, say that 3 times fast, through fashion. Her expertise spans multiple areas of the fashion industry, making her versatile and knowledgeable. Now, she's not just a pretty face who can really dress this whole thing up. Beyond that, Melissa is a devoted mother, supportive wife, and first lady, baby. Don't play with her. Do you wear the hats?
I wear the hats. I switch the hats.
And inspiring first lady at her church. She doesn't just talk of versatility. She struts it, baby, down the runway or down the aisle at church. I added that part. Okay. Now, when she's not curating the perfect outfit, Melissa cultivates beauty in other ways. I'm envious. She has a garden that she deems her second canvas, where
Yes.
she nurtures everything from delicate plants to hardy vegetables. And don't be fooled by her polished look because Melissa's favorite pastime, which we were just talking about off camera, is thrifting. The art of the thrift, not
Yes.
just thrifting. There's an art to it, baby, if you're going to do it right. So she's armed with an eagle eye and a knack for spotting diamonds in the rough.
Mm-hmm.
And she turns her secondhand shopping into a thrilling treasure hunt.
Yeah.
Melissa's mission is to continue inspiring and educating women, helping them strut into their best lives with style and confidence as their secret weapon. So now y'all see why Melissa is a perfect guest to be on Choose You Conversations today. So thank you very much, Melissa.
Thank you
So
for
I have to
having me.
tell the people need to know
Okay.
that I know you because your best friend, who was a business coach, my business coach, when I told her that I wanted a photo shoot,
Yeah.
she highly recommended you.
Thank you.
And you have done me well, honey.
Thank
Photo shoot, off photo shoot. So this is several years,
you. Yeah.
at least a good 2 years of our
Absolutely.
relationship.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So it is amazing to see, and I'm just getting a glimpse of how you kind of think and put things together,
Yeah.
and the finished product,
Ah, it's so
beautiful.
good.
So
Yeah.
you have a background in a lot of diverse environments, as
Mm.
you said.
Yes.
How has your experience in corporate America and everywhere else you've been, how has that influenced your love of fashion and your approach to image consulting? How has that resulted in Best You Ever?
I think so. First and foremost, thank you again for having me on, and it has been an
My
absolute
pleasure.
pleasure just working with you and just having the opportunity to just be able to go on the journey that we go on because it's so fun. You're so fun. Oh my goodness. So people say that about me. They're like, "You're fun," and I'm like, "Oh my goodness." But the people that I have in my life are just so great, and the
So we
energy
had
is.
so much fun together, right?
Listen, it was a hoot.
Yes.
But One thing that I would say is, and I didn't necessarily even put it in my bio, but I've also worked in the corporate industry as well too. So I worked for a banking institution as well, probably for over 10 years. And I can remember coming out of the corporate world. And when I came out, I was in this box. So I worked in private banking, I worked in securities, and I can remember having to put on the suit and the pencil skirt and wear the gray and wear the blue, and you had to talk a certain way. And, back then it was very, it was frowned upon to have individuality when it came to your style. And I
Yeah.
can remember telling my husband, I'm like, I want to do something different. I want to go in the opposite direction of what I'm doing now. And he's like, okay, well, knock yourself out, do it,
Do it.
So I started working with this high end fashion company, and they encouraged style. So you'll hear people talk about the third piece. So the third piece is just simply you have on your blouse and you have on your pants, and then you put on a third piece. Now, that third piece could be a blazer, it could be a necklace, it could be whatever you decide to do to add additional to it. And then I think
Mm.
I started learning you could add the fourth and the fifth piece too to be able just to create, your look. But I started just doing it naturally. And I've
Mhm.
always had kind of a knack for just really wanting to be unique and different, and my eye just kind of went to different things. And when I started to do it, I noticed that women were drawn to me and would ask me, "How did you do this?" And I'm like, "Just do it." Like
Yeah.
Nike,
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
But I started to realize women didn't know how to do it. Like, there were women who would really genuinely feel frustrated in their skin, feel frustrated about their life, feel frustrated about the changes that their bodies were going through. And then it dawned on me, like, oh my goodness, this is a space where I can create and help other women be truly the best you ever. Such a pun, but it's really what started my journey on to something new, and it has been nonstop ever since. It's just been a great
That's
experience.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
So how then do you, well, talk to me about how a woman's wardrobe can impact her sense of self.
Oh my goodness, it is huge. So I think, and I'll speak before social media, right? So before social media, we had commercials, and the commercials that we would see, a lot of them did not represent brown color. So what we knew and what we tried to emulate a lot of times what we saw on television on commercials. And if you don't fit that box of being a certain size, being a certain height, being a certain shade, if you don't fit that, but what you see and what you're inundated with over and over again is the opposite of that, you start to feel it starts to affect your self worth. Truly, it starts to affect
Absolutely.
you inwardly, but you don't realize that it's happening. I feel like a lot of women don't realize it's happening originally. They just start to kind of feel blah in their clothes. They just feel like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm just putting on clothes just to survive. I'm just putting on clothes just to put something on my body, and there's not a joy that comes from their closet. They're just surviving. Now fast forward into the social media. I don't even want to call it a phenomenon, because sometimes I'm like, social media, what is it doing to us, right? What is it doing to our brain? We're
Right.
going to find out later.
Right.
But now in the social media world, we're inundated with, you have to have this size butt. You have to have this size waist. You have to be, you have to push it up and push it out, smooth it, all the things, right? And now
Yes.
it's not even realistic, because now we have filters. Like, so the stuff that we're
Yes.
even trying to be, right? Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't even exist. And then now we
It
have
doesn't even
AI.
exist.
Let's talk about AI, right? So now we got a whole nother situation. Like, now we're just making people up. So
Yes.
how do
Literally.
how do women compete with something that doesn't exist? Right? So now we are in a situation where we have all those different things. So the original question is, how does it affect our self worth? So learning and understanding your body, learning and understanding you are perfect just the way God created you to be. And now what we do is we just make the body that you have, the season that you're in, make it fit what you feel you should look like. Now, I will say confidence boot camp is kind of what I put what I have in my bio, because a lot of times we have to start from the ground up. We have to start with okay, the self-care aspect of it. Self-care is just like, okay, I love myself the way I look right now. Yes, I remember what I looked like when I was in my 20s, but I'm no longer in my 20s, right? I'm no longer in my 30s. This, you have to be kind to yourself. You have to be kind to your body. You have to
Yeah.
really truly own where you are in life, right? And understand life has happened, right? So there were some things that were
Right.
positive in your life. There were things that were not positive, but you are still standing. And now that you can honor yourself and honor your body, let's beautify it. Let's find out what you like. Let's find, and that's self care, finding out what you like, finding out what fits you properly. Understanding that you don't have to always follow a trend, but you can
Yeah.
be trendy with what you do, right? All
I
of
love
those are
that.
self care opportunities. So, I mean, I get fired up,
How
so
would you?
I could
No,
preach.
I love it. So, how do you encourage women to start that conversation with themselves? Because like you talked about, just not being aware. I say it's often the water we swim in. It's the air we breathe. You just aren't aware of it, but you're doing it. And so, how do we encourage women? How do we get them to recognize where they are,
Mm-hmm.
and that they can move out of that space into something different, that they
The
that they can think differently um, about themselves, and to start to have those questions, because those questions would naturally come up for me.
I think the best thing is to pay attention to the self talk. Pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. So when you go into the closet in the morning, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? And I am just going to be fully transparent. There have been times, and I've picked up weight, and I'll go into the closet, right? And I'll look in the closet, and I'll immediately, you don't even realize you're doing it, but you'll sigh. It'll be, right? Where did
Yeah.
that even come from? That came from you knowing that you're going to go into the closet and you have to fight your closet. You have to fight
Wow.
the
Yes.
rejection that's in your closet, right? You're in there like, okay, what can I wear? What is going to tell me no? What is going to tell me yes? What do I even have in here that I like, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
self talk. Start there. Go into that closet and look and say, okay, do I feel discouraged when I step in here? When I open that door, do I look and say, here we go again? That is an indication that something's
I
wrong.
love that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything starts with self-talk. We miss
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Everything starts with self-talk. The
Mm-hmm.
way we dress, how we face the day,
Yes.
uh, our food choices, even.
Oh my
I'll
goodness.
think, oh, that's not the best thing. It's like, oh well,
Uh-huh.
it won't hurt. Well, I'm already thick. May as well. This you won't know. All sorts of things. This won't
Mm-hmm.
matter, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we forget the power of now, the power of this
Yes.
moment, the power of this thing, and the
Mm-hmm.
power of our thoughts to impact that. That
Yes.
it really does start a ripple effect. And the more you do it, the more ripples. Oh, I'm excited. You have nailed it. So self-talk in the closet.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Start there.
Yeah. So I guess a follow-up question to that then would be, how does the way we dress influence our self-perception and our emotional wellness?
Now, one thing I would say, how does it affect our, say it one more time. How does
How
it
does
affect?
the way we dress influence our self-perception? And does
So,
it also impact our emotional wellness? So I guess those are really two questions.
yes. So, one thing I'll say is, and the reason I just had you ask the question again, because what I can visually see, I've had clients have conversations with me. What I can visually see is if you're not pleased with the way that you look when you walk out that door, if you just decide, okay, this right here is comfortable, because a lot of times, now don't get me wrong, we do want to be comfortable, right? So, a lot of times we
Absolutely.
do. But what I notice is women will say, I prefer comfort over cute. They say that. And it's not that you prefer comfort over cute. You just don't know what's cute, or you don't know what fits your body properly, and you don't know how to make that wow effect. So what you've decided to do is you've defaulted over to comfort. And I'm not saying that you can't have both. You can have it all, right? But a lot of times women just decide, okay, well, I just want this comfort just so that I don't have to draw attention to myself. So I've
Yeah.
had an
They're
example.
settling. We settle.
Exactly. You're
We
definitely,
settle. And we cover it with this is comfort. So I don't care.
absolutely.
It's already that defense. I don't care. I'm comfortable.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And then not only that, you're comfortable. So then when you go into an environment, if you haven't connected with your signature style, with your identity of who you are when it comes to clothing and dressing, and let me say that doesn't necessarily mean that you're flashy and it's super bright or it's, all these things, but it's what you enjoy and how you want to present yourself to the world. So if you haven't connected with that, when you go into an environment, 9 times out of 10, you're going to shrink back. You're not going to be fully confident in walking in your true purpose and your personality and your identity the way that you should, because you've defaulted to comfort, and you've defaulted to it doesn't take all that. You've defaulted to, like, I just need
Hiding.
to, exactly, I just need to just go to work because I'm intelligent and I can live my life and I can do all these things. And of course, a lot of women have many letters behind their names, right? Like, there are so many people who have the accolades when it comes to, their education and all of the different
Sure.
things that they've accomplished. But they've decided that that's going to be more important than my physical appearance, not understanding that they all work together. So now you have a situation where now it's time for the promotion. It's time for you to be seen. It's time for you to step out and do something great, but you don't have the confidence. You're second guessing yourself. You have imposter syndrome. You have all of these things going on, and you're thinking it's something else, but what it really is you've defaulted before you left the house, right? Now you're
Oh, I
frustrated.
love that.
Now it affects your well being, right?
Yes. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you nailed that. I
Yeah.
absolutely see that connection. And I never thought about it like that, but you're right. And the other thing is, so really what you're saying is in addition to self-talk, really how we how we show up energetic, that self-talk impacts how we show up
Mm-hmm.
and the energy that we put forth.
Yes.
Because I think about people who walk in the room, it doesn't matter really what they're adorned with.
Mm-hmm.
The energy shifts when they walk in the room because it's confidence.
Yes.
Or you can see someone again who may be dressed to the nines, but they shrink.
Mm-hmm.
They don't wow you because it's not the clothes.
Exactly.
It's the person, it's the energy, it's the way you move. It's
Mm-hmm.
and that emanates from self-talk and confidence. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's all
and being
connected.
really, yeah, really being satisfied with yourself, not settling, but feeling good about where you are and being
Yes.
honest about feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
Not a I feel good because I'm comfortable. No, but a really,
Yes.
you know, ah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So your wardrobe is a reflection of that.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
love that.
Absolutely. And I think
I love
women don't even understand, and I know this is probably going a little deeper into wardrobing, but women don't even understand there's percentages to your wardrobe. So you have the percentage of the working clothes and the professional clothes, but then you may be an active person, so you have to have an active wardrobe as well too. Or when it's time for you to have your vacations and all the different things that you do, there are different percentages in your closet. So a lot of times women will go into the closet and they're supposed to go out on a date or they're supposed to do something fun and be super vibrant, but they didn't cater to that part of their lifestyle. They didn't they didn't think soul care when it was time to buy the clothes. So now they're frustrated because it's like, okay, there's even a deficiency in this. So there's so many levels to the closet and so many levels to your wardrobe and so many things that you need to be mindful of, that I think as women we're just not that way. But we'll take care of our families. We'll take care of our children because they got their play clothes, they have their church clothes, they have their school clothes. right? And we're walking around
Absolutely.
in those same random leggings that now have lint on them.
And that really resonates with me. Not the leggings with the lint, but as a mom, having four children and
Yes.
work a working mom, right? Um, Now that they're older and I can play a little more because I'm not running them around to practice
Yeah.
and all the things and all the places and all the after school programs. Now that they're older and they're more independent, I now have space in my schedule to go play a little bit more.
Yes.
And so the horror when I look at my closet, like, what do I wear to brunch? T-shirt and leggings or and jogging pants or work clothes. That's not gonna cut it.
Yes.
And so that exactly happened to me. That I, going to um, dinner with friends, going to hang out, different things like that that I didn't have the wardrobe for
Yeah.
because my life was focused on my identity,
Yeah.
which was my identity as a psychologist, and my identity as a mother, and my
Exactly.
clothes reflected my identity.
Yeah. But here's the thing, think about that. Your clothes reflected your identity as your career and as who you are to other people.
Yep.
But what about the side of you that wants to be sexy? What about the side of you that
Yes.
wants to be this huge personality that we know Dr.
Yes.
Rachel is, right? What about that side?
Yes.
We neglect that side. As women, a lot of times we
We
neglect
do.
that side. And then when we go out with our girlfriends, we're supposed to be enjoying ourselves and pouring into one another and having a wonderful time. But if you don't even feel good in what you put on to even go out to hang out with your girlfriends, and then you have a girlfriend who has not neglected herself and decided, no, I am going to have proper soul care. Now you have a situation
Yes.
where, are you comparing yourself? Do you feel self conscious in that moment when it's supposed to be a moment
Yes.
where you're enjoying one another, and now you're in your head again?
Exactly. And then how does that impact behavior? So now do you
Exactly.
not want to go out the next time?
That's it.
Right? Do you only
Yes.
want to do certain things and
Yes.
not others?
Yes.
Because oh my goodness, you have really spoken a word. That absolutely that's absolutely true. And gosh, I could say so much about that. But your clothes. I'll say this too though, in establishing my wardrobe, and you can speak more to this because you're the expert. Learning, I kind of had to learn. I'm still learning to have my staples. But the
Yes.
big thing that I learned in shopping, because I would look in my closet with regret, is that I'd get something that looked okay.
Yeah.
Nah, it's okay. And it's a good price.
Yeah.
So I'd buy it. So now I think I got sick of just okay clothes that I really didn't want to wear.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wore them seldom, if at all. But now I buy things that speak to me. So I joke with if I'm somewhere shopping or a salesperson says, "Do you like that?" And I'm like, "It's cute," but it doesn't. But it doesn't say my name. It doesn't say Rachel. It's not
Yes.
speaking to me.
Yes.
So that makes a difference.
Oh,
Yeah, frozen.
okay. I
Okay,
can you?
there we go.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, yeah, we're back. So it makes a difference. If now when I shop, I look for clothes that say my name. I look to
Yes.
clothes that whisper to me, and they might be really cute clothes that
Yeah.
just don't speak to me. They may
Yes.
fit, they may look good, but maybe better for some. Sometimes I'll see that, I'll take a picture for a girlfriend. Girl, you need this right here because
Yes.
this is you. It's cute on me, but it doesn't speak to me. And so in shopping, that's been a difference maker. Is buying things that I really really want instead of the safe okay clothes.
Yes. Yes. One thing I'll even say that, so I love to hear you say that. That makes me so happy. But do you know why people don't buy the things that really speak to them? It's because
Right.
they look at it and say, how am I going to wear this? What do I do with this? Not understanding that You could take neutrals, you could take basic pieces and staple pieces and create the look that you're trying to go for, but purchase that thing that you love because it's going to bring joy, and you'll be able to style it many different ways. But I think people are afraid of, if I buy this, then what?
Yeah,
And it's safer
absolutely.
to just simply say, oh, I'll just buy this because I know that I can wear this with six different blouses that I have in my closet. But it doesn't bring you joy, but it's safe.
It's
So,
safe. It's safe. I love that. Another piece with that is that when you're shopping, when you're looking at your wardrobe, um, and I just lost my train of thought because my brain is going so many, it's so lit up about clothes and shopping.
yes.
But the default choices, yeah, I could say more about that. The default
Okay.
choices and not um and the confidence. So this is where I was going. Again,
Okay.
this is the ADHD brain. This is my ADHD brain. Like, oh wait. But here's the other thing. And I've
Yes.
seen you do this. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen you and we watch people and I love it, right? Huh. She put that with that. I would have never, huh, who knew that those could go together? And
yes.
so one of the things that I've realized over time is that, so one thing, watching people play and put things together I wouldn't normally do gives me permission to play. It
Yes.
lets me know I can throw some things together. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But back to what we said before about confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people wear things that no way somebody can pull that off. It's the confidence that pulls it off. It's
Yes.
the it's the strut, it's the head held high, it's the baby, I know I got it.
Yes.
And even if I think, because I mean we've all done it, right? Like I really, that outfit's not really doing it for me.
Uh,
But I'm not wearing it. I didn't purchase it and I love the way they are rocking it, right?
yes.
Like
Yes.
I love the confidence. It makes the difference
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that you are wearing things that make you happy, that
Mm-hmm.
bring you joy.
Yeah.
And then you just, so another side of that too, I think is sometimes, and I've experienced this where I'll put something on and I'll go out. Like I think I'm not really sure, but I'll
Yeah.
do it. My girlfriends hype me up. So I've learned sometimes to, in order to get out of my own head,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I will just lean into what the people who I know love me and ride for me. I lean into what they say.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't trust my own judgment. And I think, I just don't know about this. My stomach is sticking out too much. Is this too tight? Is this too short?
Yeah.
Is this too whatever? When my girls say, girl, you better work that, girl. When they tell me that, even though I may not feel it 100%,
Uh-huh.
I can take a deep breath, cast that aside, remind myself to get out of my own head, and I'll
Yes.
lean into what they say.
Yeah.
Because I know my girlfriends don't want me out there raggedy with them. So if it's
yes.
something that they don't that they think, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, Rachel, they will tell me,
Yeah.
And so we like you gotta have people around you that speak life to you and life
Absolutely.
into you, and
Absolutely.
because it can help bolster you up when you're not really there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing I'll add to that is, before I even got fully into the fashion industry, sometimes I would play in my closet, and if it brought me joy, I would wear it. And I can remember, I will never forget this. I had on, and I would still do it today because it is one of my favorite combinations. And when I say it, I know it's going to sound nuts when I say it, but I'm just going to say it. I had on a fatigue skirt. It was a line fatigue skirt that kind of hit around my mid calf. And I put, so that's green, those are shades of green. And I put on a black and white polka dot shirt.
What?
Let's just sit in that. Let's just sit in that moment. And I think, you know what? Now that I say it, I think I'm probably gonna even pull out, because I have some pieces that I could pull out to make it look great. It sounds nuts, but I am telling you, Dr. Rachel, it was fantastic. And I put on this red lip, and the shirt was fitted. The top was really fitted, and the A-line fatigue skirt was long, or it flared a little. And then I had on some black stiletto pumps. And I can remember a guy looking at me and said, "What do you have on?" And I turned and I said, "You like it?" He looked at me and said, "I would have never thought to put that together. When I look at it, I feel like it looks crazy, but only you could do this and make this look good."
I
And I
love it.
said, "Why, thank you." And, I went on about my day, and I had so many people kind of look, but they were looking kind of like, it's not supposed to make sense, but on you it does, right?
Yes.
And that's what I started to do. I said, that moment, now it could have went wrong because he could have said, "You look crazy." But in that moment, I felt like,
That's when you say
I
something
feel,
crazy like, "You look crazy."
yes,
And keep
but
going.
think
Because
about
I
it.
know I look good.
Right, right. And people are so afraid of print on print. People are so afraid to get it wrong that sometimes we don't just venture out and it be the coolest thing. And I think that was a moment that gave me confidence, because all it is just imagine wearing black and white and then putting on some green
Hmm.
shoes. That's all I did. Like,
Yeah.
just if you start to really get out of your head and just look at it as color,
Yeah.
you can play with it. And with all of that being said, that was the moment that I decided, like, yeah, I would like approval of people, people that are close
Yeah.
to me, or people to be like, "That's cool." But what if I just kind of stepped out of that and said, if it's bringing me joy, I'm going to do it. And from that moment, I started to just do it. So now I literally would have people say, "Only you could do that. Only you could pull that off. Only you can."
Yeah.
And I think it brings me joy, because it's like, oh, it's a Melissa Davis. This is a Melissa
Yes.
Davis moment. Is that what we're having right now?
Yes.
And it encourages me, but it also gave me confidence to be able to tell other women, like, what? Why are we just sticking with gold accessories? How about we just put on some orange and some green, and then put on blue pants? Like, let's make
Yes.
this moment
Yes.
great. Like, why are we like, there?
Yes.
There will never be another August 12th, 2024. Let's just see what
Exactly.
happens in this day. So
I
it's
love
been
that. And
great.
what comes up for me when you describe that outfit, and I probably had the same reaction. What in the world? But it is working.
Yes,
Like I feel like the stilettos just made it rock even more. But I thought you were gonna say maybe like some combat boots or something, which probably still would have been cute,
yes,
with some band.
yes, yes. Some cranberry color combat boots. Come on now, speak my language.
Exactly. But what comes up for me is like, wow, that's really bold. And I guess this depends on where you are, again with your soul care and your station in life. But maybe it's not polka dots with fatigues and stilettos.
Right.
But I would imagine that you can have little splashes of fun if you're not ready to
Yes.
go all out. Can you speak to that?
Yes, absolutely. So I think a lot of times one of the biggest challenges in my industry is, so people will see what I wear. People will see, and I'm all over the spectrum when it comes to just simply, I can do classic, I can do bohemian, I can do, wild things. I just enjoy fashion. I enjoy expression. So I think a lot of times clients will, I've actually even had one tell me, like, "I like how you dress, but I can't do that." Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to do that. I have no interest in doing that. And I always tell my clients firsthand when we have our first consultation, I just let them know, "Hey, I am not trying to dress you like myself. I am not trying to dress you like the latest trend. What I want to do is I want to have an opportunity to be able to know you, to find out what it is that you truly enjoy and what you like. And you may not know what you like right now, but we're going to journey together. And then let's find your signature style. Let's find what makes you unique." And I even have some clients who are just they don't like a lot of color. So to put someone in with my one particular client, if I put her in red shoes, she would die. She would just absolutely die. Like she's just like, I'm not gonna do it. Don't do that to me. So I understand that she prefers a more classic look. So what
Hmm.
we do is we stick to like the sheath dresses, we stick to the pearls, we stick to something that's more classic. But even when it comes time to transition her into her active life, I know that it's a certain length of shorts that she'll wear. It's a certain style, it's a certain brand, it's a certain feel. So you can be very, very specific in what you like,
Sure.
and it doesn't have to be so out of the box, but it's what you like. So by the time you go out, you feel confident, and it may be navy blue and white, and it may not have any print, and it may be the neutral colors, but you're confident because it's
Yes,
what speaks to you. So that's what I
absolutely.
always tell my clients, like, you don't have to worry about, like, if you want to do print on print, I'm your girl. But
Yeah.
if you want me to dress you in a more classic way, because I love classic looks. Like if you want to look like Chanel, I can make it. Like we can do that sophisticated presidential look all day long, and I will get
Yes,
it right. So it just
I love
depends.
that.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
um I remember the first photo shoot that we did together, and you'd gone shopping, and you brought me some items, and you brought this dress. I still look at it and shake my head because when you pulled it out, I said, "No way, that is not cute." And
I
you
think
got it
you
on
said it out your
clearance.
mouth.
I did. I told you it was not cute, but because I trusted you, I was what you said, and you were so confident. And you put that khaki dress with those red platform stilettos, those
Hmm.
Mary Jane. And listen, I was like, who is that? Who am I looking at? You
Yes.
transformed such a basic. I wouldn't have looked at that dress twice. And it's in my closet, and I still chuckle because I think she is crazy, and she got it right.
Thank you. Thank
What's
you for
the deal?
trusting me.
What's the deal? Absolutely. Tell us. So you talk about you mentioned that wardrobe tells a story before you introduce yourself. How can women use their wardrobe to tell their story?
So first I would say, what story do you want to tell? That's the first thing. And what type of person are you trying to attract? So I think a lot of times women don't under sometimes women just don't necessarily understand how important it is to present themselves in a way that is going to allow the certain type of person, the right type of person, to be attracted to them. And when I mean that, I'm not saying sexy. I'm not saying
Hmm.
show a little leg. I'm just simply saying, what is it that you want? What is it that you're trying to say? So even if you were to go, let's say that you have a presentation and you're going into an environment and you decide that you want to be a little bold in what you're wearing because what you're saying is a little bit more subdued, right? So a lot of times people think, oh, I have this big message. I need to have this huge presence on stage, and that's not necessarily so. If you are speaking boldly and you have something that could be hard to swallow, a lot of times it's not necessarily necessary to have this bold presence. So you can kind of
Wow.
subdue the look a little bit so it's not offensive, and it's more it's more professional, but then the words that are coming out of your mouth speak power, and now your look and what you're saying, they match, right? So it
Wow.
really just depends on the story that you're trying to tell.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
love
that's
that.
just one
That
example. Hmm. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, what are some key takeaways that you want our listeners and observers, watchers to remember about self-image and personal style?
I One thing that I would say is that we are all very different, and that's beautiful. And I think through social media, a lot of times it tries to gather us all in one bucket.
Mm-hmm.
It tries to put us in a space of comparison sometimes. And I think it's really, really important to understand that we're different and it's a beauty in being different, and it's okay not to know what you necessarily want to look like all the time. And the reason I say that, and let me just backtrack and just simply say,
Hmm.
one, like when we were in our 20s, we dressed a certain way. And then when we were in our 30s, we dressed a certain way. And then now, let's say you're in your 40s or your 50s or your 60s,
Hmm.
um, we have to understand that we evolve. So there are certain things that we did in our 20s that we wouldn't do in our 30s. And there are certain things in our 30s that we don't want to do in our 40s, right? So you
Yeah.
have to understand that there will be moments in your life when you used to have your signature style and you used to know what you liked, right? And then now seasons change. And it's okay to say, I don't necessarily know what I like, but be open to change. Be open to finding out and just really just exploring what you enjoy. So that's what I would say. So don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to just say, I don't know what I like. Let's go see, right? And then understand that it's still a journey that you have to take, but it's a journey that you don't have to necessarily take alone because I'm here. Let me be clear. I am here for you. But
Absolutely.
you, even with
Absolutely.
your friends and even with people who are around, just understand, find a safe space and
Yeah.
then just go on the journey. Yeah.
I was thinking about that
Yeah.
when I don't have, when I can't call, text, email you. I think about, it may be fun to shop or even send a picture of outfit because I buy online a lot more now
Yeah.
to a girlfriend and say, what do you think about this? But not just any girlfriend, one who I know makes bold choices, one who in a fashion sense operates in a way that I admire
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because they may take some dares and they're going to be tasteful and they're going to be, I love these things. Hey, what do
Mm-hmm.
you think about this?
Yeah.
Mm, that's okay, but do they have a brighter color?
Yes.
When someone says, "Oh, you look good in bright colors," I do. Thank you for that reminder. That's right. I'm not going to get this in black, gray, or khaki. Let me see if
Exactly.
they have it in fuchsia or pink or orange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so,
So
what's
good.
an ideal client for you? Why? What would be, um, So what? Yeah, what's an ideal client for you? Talk to me about the women who work best with you, or
I
who you
think
work best with.
a woman who works best for me is a woman who is in the process of a lifestyle change, truly. Whether that be transitioning into a different career, whether that be possibly someone who even weight, whether they've lost weight or they've gained weight. Lifestyle change could be either you went through a divorce or there's a possibility now you're about to be married, right? I feel like lifestyle change works the best. Even women who may be in their career right now, but then when they go into their closet, they feel stale. Stale is a really, really really good indicator that I am the person that you want to work for. But it's the person who's ready for change, the person who has said, okay, my closet has taken me as far as I want to go. Now I need to revamp this thing and I need to decide, okay, what does my future look like and how do I move forward in in the things that I want. And I think a lot of times, and I know this is going to sound so cliche when I say it, dress for success. I think it was like dress for success back in the day. They used to be like,
Yeah,
dress for the position that you want to have, right? And I
yeah,
don't think people realize how true that is. Like literally, if you're in a position and you feel stale and you feel like you're not accomplishing what you want on the outward and you don't have that confidence, starting to make the change for what you truly want is vital, because I don't think we realize, like, if you're looking for a promotion, you're not going to um, just do the same old and then expect someone to notice you, see you, and promote you. No, what you're going to do is take on more responsibility. You're going to start doing
yeah,
specific things that show people that you can do the next level, right? And when it
yeah,
comes to your clothing and when it comes to your confidence and when it comes to you showing up in a space, you have to be able to do that before you get into that space. So that is my
Absolutely.
ideal client. That is the one who thrives the most with me. Hmm.
I'll say, as one of your clients, that there's a lot that working with you has done for me. First of all, you've made my pictures just absolutely amazing.
You are so
Y'all are
fine.
gonna have to stay tuned to see these pictures. That's so fire we got back last week. But
Listen.
but but one thing, it was a couple years ago when you told me, and I lost a little bit of weight, not much,
Uh,
but you're like, you are not this size, ma'am. You
uh,
are you are not this size. You're a whole size. But you told me, and you hadn't met me in person yet. And you're like, I'm
yes.
looking at now. I don't feel like I was wearing my clothes baggy,
Yeah.
but I'm like, no way can I go a size below. And
I
I
think we
did.
went two. I think didn't we
No, just
almost
down
go?
one size.
Okay, I was
In
gonna
some
say,
things, I think in some things, and I
yeah.
still, because there were a couple things that I thought, before I fully accepted your advice, I was like, I mean, I hear, but I need to get an extra large in this. And then you're like, Rachel, you're swimming in this. For the pictures, we're gonna have to clamp this in the back. You're swimming in it. I'm like, darn it, darn it. Um, and so I
Yes.
think that brings up a really good point. That sometimes it's helpful just to have another perspective, another set of
Absolutely.
eyes.
Yes.
Um,
Hmm.
to just you could have told me I was wearing my clothes too big, but
Yeah.
listen, give me an excuse to have them fit a little snugger. I'm
Say less.
okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Um, yeah, but so I have one last question because
Okay.
they keep coming. So maybe it's the last question, maybe it's not. What would you say to someone who says, I have a spouse, I have a friend, I have a sibling who just hides in their clothes, and I really want to help them. I really want them, they could do so much more. They could their clothes could flatter them so much more. Um, Maybe it's a self-esteem thing or self-image thing.
Yeah.
What can that loved one what say to the person that they're concerned about hides in their clothes?
So that can be complicated because women, people, and men too, you're hiding for a reason, right? So there's a possibility there could be trauma, there could be hurt, there's many, many reasons why we hide. So for that loved one who wants to assist, I would say pay attention to the atmosphere. So let's say that if the person is already kind of frustrated with their day or frustrated with something that's already going on in their life, that's not necessarily the best time to communicate about clothing and about appearance.
Or if
But you
there's an
just want,
audience.
oh my goodness, never in front of an audience. I absolutely not. But I would say when the atmosphere is right, and let's say that it's just a casual conversation, um, if you have an open door to just simply asking, hey, what's your thoughts on this? But you're asking open ended questions to the person. So let's say the person is always in gray and always in black. And then you could say, hey, I saw these pants and I thought these were really cool. What's your thoughts on it? And what you're doing is just bringing that person into an awareness that, oh, I do wear a lot of black. I do wear a lot of
Oh,
gray, right? And it's a slow process because what you don't want to do is jerk them into shock. You don't want them to be in shock, but you're just starting to open questions and
a
have
gentle and
conversation.
loving approach
Absolutely. And then if it's a spouse or
that's
a sister,
respectful of them.
exactly, exactly. And then if you're skilled enough, what you could do is just say, you may purchase something for them. Make sure you get that size right when you do it. But let's say that you purchase something and say, I saw this and I just thought that this color would be so beautiful on you. This is just something that I feel like would bring out your eyes. Or I thought it was just that you have such a cool personality. I felt like this would just
Yeah.
be a win for you, right? And then just see how they respond. Either they may love it or they may hate it, or just find out like, okay, what was the response, and then from there you can make another decision and another decision. But it just has to be in love, and it has to be at a pace that that person can take, because you're dealing with someone who's hiding, which means that they have self-confidence issues. So just being mindful of that.
I I love
Mm-hmm.
that. It has been such a pleasure talking with you. It's always fun talking with you. But I'll tell you, I
Always.
learned some things. I didn't know wardrobes could go that deep.
Oh, it's a science.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole
Yes.
thing. So thank you so much.
You are
How
welcome.
can our listeners get in touch with you?
Okay, so it's a couple of different ways. Right now, my website is actually in, like, literally under construction. I'm so excited because I have so many cool images and so many different things that I'm going to be able to offer my clients coming soon. So just bear with me. But right now, you can definitely find me on my social media platforms. So I am on Facebook and I am on Instagram. So on Facebook, it's my basically, it's my fan page, and it's going to be Best You Ever by Malissa Davis. That's how you find me there. And then also on Instagram, and of course, you can message me and I respond very quickly. On Instagram, you can find me, and it's going to be Melissa, and I spell my name a little weird. It's going to be Malissa underscore BYE. And that, of course, BYE just simply stands for Best You Ever. So you can message me there. And then finally, my email is available too. But if you messaged me on the two other platforms, I'm sure that I will respond. But just in case, it's Melissa at bestyouever.style, STYLE. So that's three different places you can find me. I will respond, and then we can go from there. One thing I will say, Dr. Rachel, is I'm offering a 20-minute free consultation. So if you got on my calendar, you can just go ahead and schedule some time with me, and let's just have a conversation. Let's just talk. Let's just talk through what
Yes,
you might want to do, and to see if this is a good fit for you. So I have
I
that
love that.
free consultation as well. Yeah.
Well, they will also have your social media information in
Okay.
the link that goes with this podcast.
Thank
So if
you.
you guys didn't write it down, you just need to go and scroll. It'll be right there
Yes.
with the hyperlink. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Now
And it was an
I get to go
honor.
look in my
It was.
closet to see what I'm going to wear today.
Oh, send me a picture.
With you in mind.
Yes.
And I'm not going to start a whole nother conversation, but I'll say that also the way I feel or the way I want to feel.
Hmm.
I Now I look in my closet for that. So
That's
if I'm
so
feeling
good.
sort of but I want to feel better, then I might be
Yes.
looking for a yellow or orange, or I might be looking to look cute instead of basic, you know?
Yes.
And sometimes I'm not in the mood and I'm a little annoyed and irritated, and I'm okay with basic because
Yes.
listen, I'm just not feeling it today. That your wardrobe can sustain a mood, pull you out of a mood. It can do a lot of things for you. And I never really thought of it that way. So
Yes.
thank
Yes.
you, image consultant extraordinaire, for
You
this
are very
conversation.
welcome. What Let me say this before we get off. So what you're
Sure.
saying is literally a science. So you saying that, okay, if you don't necessarily feel good, you're going to wear something that's going to be a brighter color, or you're going to wear something that's going to pull you kind of out of the funk. That is literally a thing. One thing that I even taught, like, on the days that you don't feel good, so I used to call it my NTD day. So it's basically not the day. It's your
Yes.
NTD look. So even in your closet, put clothes in your closet when you know that it's that time of the month, when you know that it's going to be a high stress like situation, or you don't know what's going to go on. It's a certain part of your closet where if those dresses fell on the floor, you wouldn't even have to iron them. You could just pick up, it's made out of that material that's stretchy and
Yes.
ready to go for you,
Yes.
where you could just
Yes.
grab and go, because that's how you're feeling, but you've already planned for that, because every day is not a perfect day. So I mean, we could go. We
Ah,
can,
we
like,
could
what
go. We could go. We
you
could.
are on point. You know this. You know how to do this. So yes,
Yes. Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much. I'm so honored to
you
have
are
you here.
welcome. Yes, and it was a
Um,
pleasure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah.
my pleasure as well.